Hi everybody, and welcome back to Axion Token Channel. So this is going to be a fun session. We're just going to be talking about cryptocurrency generally. Obviously there's a bit of a pullback in the market. We did break that $2,000 ETH that I talked about last night, really hoping we would hold above that 2,000, but obviously further news dampening the crypto markets. We're just going to have a bit of fun times talking about the prices, some of the news that's out at the moment. There is some really bullish news out there as well, as obviously the market pulling back. So we're going to check out a lot of all that stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Look forward to your comments as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, like, share, and of course hit the bell for further videos. And we're going to have a good time. So welcome, and let's just go. So we're just going to just quickly check the audio. Audio sounds really good, so we're going to keep going on here. You can see at the moment we've got Bitcoin down at 32,645. Now that's still positive, it's still over 30,000. We've got a down 24 hours, 7.8%, down 7 days, 19.6%. And we've got Ethereum at 1,950. It did break the 2,000, but I said if it managed to bounce back out of it, if it does break it, manage to bounce back out of it, then that's still quite a bullish thing. So as long as it doesn't stay under it for like a day, that'd be the important thing. It's currently sitting at 11.9% down on 24 hours, and 7 days is down to almost 25% in 7 days. It's still severe pullbacks there, and definitely in bearish territory for sure. We've got the Binance going down $280. What a snap that seems to be at the moment, and that's down 16.3%. So certainly relatively more than Bitcoin and Ethereum for sure, and down 25%, similar to Ethereum, actually pretty much identical. Cardano, of course, down to $1.22. 13.4%, and that's down 22.4% over the week. XRP down to 62%. Now that was only $1 not a while ago. That's incredible, and that's down 16.6%, 29%. So real heavy hit. That's hit the worst over the last 7 days. XRP, Dogecoin has been smashed. So that's Elon Musk's Dogecoin. Now, understand that he's probably sold out a lot of his position, no doubt. Dogecoin's 19.6%, so that's going to be quite be the case if that's confirmed. So that's down 27.7% overnight. Wow, that's incredible. That's almost 3 times Ethereum's pullback over the last 24 hours. It is up 4.2% in the last hour, down 40%, almost 40% over the last 7 days. Wow, that's really hit hard. And then that's number 9 is Polkadot. Polkadot sitting at $16.24, and I actually pretty bullish about Polkadot. So obviously just moving with the market down almost 20%, 24 hours, and 37% also hit pretty hard like Dogecoin over the last week. So that's the top 10. Obviously Binance USD is just a stable coin. We've got Bitcoin Cash managed to stay at number 11. That's down 15%, 27. So pretty hard hit numbers there, pretty severe in the top 20. Just looking for something that's really been hit even harder than that. Going down there. Let's have a look. Also seeing with anything else has been stable is the top 100 on CoinGecko. And just checking out some of the numbers. Certainly a sea of red. We pretty much had like 2 days at least in the sea of red, and we were just going up and down in the range, and now we finally moved down to the downside. Let's keep going down here. Top 100. Just looking for some unusually big numbers falling in the last 24 hours. No, all pretty much double digits though. So looking at 20, somewhere between 12 and 25%, somewhere like that, generally speaking. So you can see that pretty hit pretty hard on those ones. So look at this though. We've got Ethereum is actually bouncing up to 1948. Let's go look at the 24-hour chart, of course, and check that out. Let's have a quick look at what it's been doing at 24 hours on the actual chart. We can see that we're now 55. We're sitting about 40% below all-time high of $4,356. That was about a month ago, and now we're 55% below that in 1 month. So over 0.5% cheaper in a month. Wow, that's crypto for you, folks. And there we are. But we're still massively up. Was it 450,000% up from the all-time low? Over 5 years ago. All right, so let's have a quick look at the 24-hour. You can actually see that we bottomed down at $1,863 on Ethereum, 1,863. So we're almost up. We're almost up $100. Almost up $100, $80 up in the last hour. So we'll see where that heads off. Obviously, if we don't want to really keep dripping down further, that will just wipes up out a lot of value. So that's where we're at the moment. 30 days, we're down 15% on 30 days, 24.5% on 14 days, and similar on the 7 days. So there we are. All right, so let's just jump up there. We'll go up to Bitcoin, have a quick check of that too. It's always quite interesting just check out Bitcoin. Let's go check that out. It's holding over 30,000. That's crucial. I believe that it holds that, and let's hope for that for well. We're going to look at some of the reasons why the market's moving down as well, just after looking at the prices, actual prices. So we're sitting at 49.6% below all-time high, $64,804. The low in the last 24 hours, we saw hit 31,251, but it managed to starve off going below 30 at this stage. And we're back up at 32,644. So we're up, about $1,300 over the last hour or two. So that's not too bad. How are we doing? 30 days, 13% below. To 7 days is 90.7. So it gives you some idea there. So we'll just watch that. Looks like it's just stabilizing a little bit at the moment as we're doing this live stream. So that's where that's at. Obviously the big hit here is definitely Dogecoin in the last 24 hours out of the top 10. Definitely hit pretty hard. So yeah, let's have a quick look at some of our favorites. Which ones we're going to look at? Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB. Now we're going to look at the value tokens, which are the staking tokens. Obviously Axion, Hex, and Wise. We're going to check out that and a few other ones as well. So let's go do that. And we're going to jump over to Dex Tools to do that. You can see that certainly Hex is at 8 cents. So that did push, definitely pulled back. What did it get down to? 7.7 cents. So that's a decent pullback. Had been managing to stay green while everything else was red, but that certainly has had a pullback in the last 24 hours. And we'll see it's back over 8 cents, so we'll see whether that decides to keep going. Obviously, it's got Pulsechain sitting in behind it, waiting for that to come out. We do cover that quite intensively on this channel, so you can check out some of the videos on that we've done recently. So do that. Axion, let's have a look at Axion. So obviously Axion is the main token of this channel, Axion token, and so we're going to quickly check out that. Obviously, with the market just pulls back. Now there was a big whale buy and stake for 15 years earlier today, so people are taking opportunity of the lower prices. So we're sitting at 0.00011, still not quite on the bottom. Let's see what the lowest price was, 0.001. So almost at the bottom of when we first started. Let's quickly check out the full range of charts there. We're going to go full screen on the chart itself, go back to the beginning of our chart history, and we can see that goes all the way back to December the 18th. Now, the all-time low was on the 31st of December 2020, and the price was sitting at 0.000. Quadruple 0.9374. So we're not quite there, but we're pretty close to there. Today we actually went as low as 0.001, managed to avoid going under the 0.001. That's quite a psychological thing to hold over. We did have a nice big whale come in there and then to buy and stake, I think. So that might be the case. So actually, let's look over the quick hourly on that one as well. Let's check out the hourly on Axion. And yeah, so a big buy in there coming, hit us off the bottom there at 0.001. Really a buy signal. That was 4 hours ago. Let's see if we can. What time is that? That's 1100. So let's go back and check that. Here should be able to get in there. Here's the big buy here, 83A6. I think that's a known swing trader typically, but it looks like they actually bought this and decided to stake it for once. So I think they're typically a swing trader. In other words, they like to buy high and sell, buy low and sell high. But looks like they've. I do know this wallet, so but that looks like they've done that, and they've also staked that, which is interesting behavior. Obviously, looking for the wrap Bitcoin divs at this price. Definitely, they were in the money to do that. So congrats to them for that. So big fight, half a billion. Axion there, 28.789 ETH. So that was the buy. Actually gave a lot of price support at the bottom. So you could argue that's actually a good thing too, and especially when they staked it for max shares. But Let's have a quick look at some of the news as well. I think actually let's have a look at Wise. Wise, obviously, it goes with the ETH price. It's not like WiseB. WiseB's on the Binance Smart Chain that has actually airdrops fixed in US dollars, so it's a game changer. It's the only place that does that. And so Wise on ETH, however, there's two different tokens, one on the Wise chain, one on the ETH chain. One on the ETH chain and one on the BSC chain. So this one here doesn't have any of those upside airdrops. So this one here is more goes in line with the price of Ethereum. Ethereum pulls back, Wise ETH will pull back. Also a value token, and you can see that they went as low as 35.6 cents, back up at the moment at 35.9 cents. Just on the buy there. So looks like the market's settling just a little bit after that big pullback over the last 24 hours. So interesting stuff happening with the value staking tokens. Those are the three main ones. They all have share rates or certificate deposits, but they all have very different features in terms of other rewards above and beyond the certificate deposit aspect. So interesting stuff there. Cadillac Jackson House. Hey, Axion Token. Hey, Cadillac Jack. Good to see you. Let's promote that comment because that's pretty cool. Hey, Cadillac Jack. So I saw you on Axion Today show earlier. That was a bit of a fun community channel. Nice to see the big donations from the team to help child trafficking. That was really cool. So welcome to this one. So anyway, yeah, that's looking pretty interesting. So the value tokens are up, and you know, they're not up, but they're sort of stabilizing out here after the big pullback. So we'll watch out those over the next 24 hours. So have a quick have a look some reasons what's happening in the market. So we're going to jump onto CoinDesk.com. That's CoinDesk.com, and you can see that we're just going through some of these. I'll just post this link in the chat in case you want to check them out yourself. That's CoinDesk.com, one of the bigger crypto news sites. So you can see that Ether, here's probably the main story. Ether drops below 2,000. So we're going to check that story out because it gives a bit of some of the drivers that are continuing to hit the crypto market. It's really quite odd actually, because normally this has already happened many times before with China and the miners. So you'd think one that just hit it off, but what you get is that some of the big accounts probably start selling down, and so people just start selling down on that. So that's pretty much what you're getting. ETH drops below 2,000. Bitcoin wilts as China tells bank to cut off crypto transactions. So that's the actual physical action, what's driving that. But obviously, crypto internationally is decentralized, so really can't do much. Just impacting the miners, which China's huge percentage. I can't remember the exact percentage. It was pretty high. It used to be 50%, but I'm not sure if they still hold that amount now. China's central bank said major financial institutions must stop providing trading, clearing, and settlement for crypto transactions. So some of these moves we're going to see are not necessarily because they're against crypto, but because it's really a power grab. So that's probably the case. As they want to control stuff. So Bitcoin, Ether, and other cryptocurrencies are trading lower after the People's Bank of China called a stricter crackdown on virtual currency dealings. So really it's trying to control the people. That's all it's about. So if you ever see these stuff, that's all it's about, because in fiat you can still do other activities, but this is really just about control. So ETH, the second largest cryptocurrency by market value, is changing hands near $920, and we just saw that earlier. It's around about that now. And the token powering Ethereum blockchain is now down nearly 15 on the day and appears to be tracking down. So obviously we are tracking down to test the 200 moving day average, which is 1872, which has already done that. So we saw that it's already done that in the last 24 hours, tested the 200-day simple moving average. Bitcoin is trading 10% lower at 31,850, so that's actually up a little bit now, as we saw. Other cryptocurrencies, XRP, Decano, Polkadot are nursing losses, and yeah, there definitely are. An announcement earlier today, the Chinese bank said major financial institutions must stop providing trading, clearing, and settlement for crypto transactions. So that is a major impact. I do get that, but Bitcoin should slog that off eventually. Quite a few Chinese institutions have gone offshore, knowing that this is probably where it was heading in China. While China's anti-crypto stance is well established, the latest statement comes after consultation with Alipay and other major banks, including Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, Agricultural Bank of China, Construction Bank, Postal Savings Bank, and industrial banks as well. The central bank asked for prompt discontinuation of payments channels to crypto traders. Alipay. So if they can prevent the fiat crypto gateway, that's how they're going to try and control it as much as possible. Alipay, the Agricultural Bank of China, Postal Savings Banks have put out statements saying they will take necessary steps to prohibit virtual currency related business activities, which is probably it's controversial thing within the bank, because on one hand it's a new market, on the other hand they are getting rid of competitors, because DeFi really will compete strongly against banks, because you can do anything in DeFi. PBox, strongly worded communique has bolstered concern of stricter regulatory crackdown, resulting weakness in cryptocurrencies appears to be weighing over shares of companies holding Bitcoin involved in virtual currency businesses. But you get the other. If you look at Japan and South Korea, completely bullish for crypto, and have decent regulatory practices in place, like liquid exchange out of Japan, really good. And so that people, even the Chinese people involved in the industry, will try to do their best to move out into other jurisdictions, and so they bolster up, right? And we saw recently Latin America's sort of bolstering their crypto, official reserve currency stuff. So China's just a complete move to change. They're not the only places that are going to try and move to control it, of course. So you're going to have a bit of a mixed bag across the world in that case. Trading view shares, what do we got to come? Crypto market tanking last month on the back of environmental concerns related to crypto mining. Well, that's really the Elon Musk stuff, right? So that's in Tesla, and that was just a bit of a play, really, because obviously they knew before they invested that a lot of electricity is required for that. China's crackdown and fears of an early scaling back of stimulus by the US Federal Reserve. So you got a bit of that with the fear of interest rates going up, that sort of faltered the stock market yesterday, and with people thinking that interest rates going to go up to try and curb the inflation, which is rising under the Biden administration, with a whole ton of terrible policies, really. So that's only going to get worse from that point of view. China reiterated its crypto ban last month, citing dangers associated with speculative trading and the government. So they don't have to do that. All they have to do is do regulation. So that's a lie. If they want to control speculative trading, they can just regulate that. They don't have to actually ban transactions at banks. So that's just made up. On Friday, the government intensified pressure on cryptocurrency mining. The closure of 26 suspected mining projects in Sichuan. So that just shows you that they're really closing down the miners. Obviously, miners make income, a whole ton of income off Bitcoin, and it pumps back into the Chinese economy. So that just shows you it's just really about power grab and controlling money in China. The Fed unexpectedly brought forward the timing of the first interest rate hike to 2023. So we still have to wait and see where we get that, but given the inflationary policies by the Biden administration, that's likely to happen. Normally I would say it wouldn't, but under the current policies, terrible energy, terrible infrastructure, and terrible fiscal spending. That's what you're going to get. All right, so that's pretty much that article, which I think is pretty cool explanation of that one. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And Kayla Jack, happy to see we leveled off for the moment anyways. Yeah, so it was nice to see that whale come and support 0001 and then stake it long term. So smart decision by them, and they were in a perfect position to do that. So very cool. All right, so let's have a quick look at this one. I think we actually looked at that one, didn't we? What else have we got? Looked at that one there too. This is an interesting one I want to talk about. So BlackRock's one. So though the prices might be down, the market's down, we know crypto has these massive swings as well, and we're definitely in the bearish sentiment now. On the positive side, you got institutions still buying. That's why don't be fooled by the short-term impacts or the trend at the moment in the cycle. Bitcoin shrugs them off, and then crypto as well. So you got BlackRock wants a blockchain strategy for Aladdin, its investment engine. So obviously BlackRock is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, institutional investment house in the world. So that's what they're doing. A job posting reveals enterprise blockchain ambitions in the world's largest asset manager. Public and private chains are up for evaluation. So let's separate that out from particular blockchain developments and cryptocurrencies. So we're going to separate that out and see where they're heading with that. So BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with almost 9 trillion in assets under management, is seeking to develop a blockchain strategy for its flagship portfolio management system, Aladdin, and that according to job posting. So that's huge news, actually, huge. And that's what I said. It actually takes a couple of years for institutions to ramp up. So if we think about the New York Stock Exchange opening up Once that did, it opened up to a lot, the vast majority of institutions around the world last year. So you're taking 21, 22, 23. So by 23, 24, you should have a good, decent amount of institutions have already picked up a certain percentage of their share, including, potentially, at least I should say, retirement funds, the big behemoths, those are. So we'll see how that plays out, but certainly institutions are ranking up. We've obviously got specialized crypto investment institutions, and we're going to look at one of those right now and as well. So BlackRock, the world's but let's have a look. The director level hire will evaluate different blockchain protocols platforms to explore solution alternatives. So it's really about blockchain technology as opposed to cryptos at the moment. BlackRock's system for measuring risk and making trades, according to the job posting, will investigate how blockchain could fit into the system. Axion has been called the tech hub of modern finance for its prominence among portfolio risk management tools. Crown jewel, Axion is the secret sauce that makes BlackRock tick. It's the software that manages the use of analyze, interpret, and work with the capital markets. BlackRock declined to comment on the scope of the position. He spokesperson provided the following statement: "We're hiring an engineer leading for distributed ledger technology to build out our expertise and execution capabilities in the distributed ledger." So it's really about blockchain. Stuff like that. They've got a blockchain roadmap, and no doubt. So really not so much the investment side it does, but on the asset management side, it's more the crypto side. BlackRock began trading Bitcoin futures in the first quarter. Its first foray into crypto trading. So that's just the first quarter this year. So that's pretty huge. Let's have a quick look at that article as well. As we go, let's have a quick look. So the BlackRock has begun trading Bitcoin futures. Like I say, institutions will take a couple of years. That's why I say I'm pretty bullish about Bitcoin and other stuff because it's better than gold, and the world's going into an inflationary period. There's bad globalist elite policies which are terrible, and so you're gonna get Bitcoin's gonna be really valuable, especially when it's fixed in supply. And then good progress in cryptos, value tokens like Axion will do well as well when you've got a rate of return offsetting any price fluctuations to some degree, depending on the price movements, but you go through cycles and all that sort of stuff. So BlackRock has begun trading Bitcoin futures. BlackRock held 6.5 million in CME Bitcoin futures earlier this year with an appreciation of 360,000, obviously when Bitcoin was rising up there. Investment giant BlackRock has indeed started to dabble in Bitcoin. And the market, according to regulatory filings published Wednesday. So this was back in April, March, April. Source familiar with the matter told CoinDesk that the asset manager held $6.5 million in Bitcoin futures contracts earlier this year. Now, they're going to scale it up, right? Especially when Bitcoin goes down, these guys will be buying a lot of it. They'll be buying a lot of those futures as the price goes down. These guys will just wait till they're happy with the price, and they'll be buying heaps of them. So they've probably just been increasing their position. These contracts will have appreciated on that amount. Obviously, it's a bit old, this one here. This is April, 2nd of April, this article. The holdings represent 0.03% of BlackRock's massive global allocation fund on reporting day. A very small, I said. So, you could see that getting to 1% and maybe across cryptos, maybe within a portfolio of the top 10 or something like that. And they might shift cryptos in and out of that as the cryptos move in and out. So you can see that sort of stuff. Maybe get to 0.5%, let's say 0.5%, depending on the risk allocation there. BlackRock's original 37 contracts expired on March 26. BlackRock gave 2 of its funds the go-ahead to trade Bitcoin futures in January. That's why I said, you see what I mean? Like the decision making, this happens, and then it's delayed. And so if you've got the biggest places in the world doing it, then all the other institutions who, if they're not already doing it, start to follow. So it still becomes a trickle, and then it becomes a flood. It's a bit like that. Really is. So it does take a couple of years, and also corporates too. So this is just the investment fund side, but then you've got corporates deciding they're going to take certain hedge portfolios and certain type of businesses, particularly in American stuff like that, and to get that. And not only that, you get nation states, of course. They're going to take gold, or they're going to go for Bitcoin. They may be doing that on their treasury sheet. So that's the other side of it too. So BlackRock gave 2 of its funds the go-ahead So that was pretty cool. So you see that there, so that BlackRock, that's like general, the biggest investment Goliath in the world. So that's what I'm talking about. While the price might be red, sea of red today, and the trend might be bearish, you've still got these institutions coming in and picking it up over the next few years, and that's just going to take more Bitcoin off the market and over time, because we already know the emission curves on Bitcoin's getting really low. Obviously that, and when I'm talking Bitcoin, it also affects the crypto alt season as well, and some of the better projects in there. All right, so that's that, and also we've got we're going to jump to that one. We've got to Michael Saylor on Twitter. This was 14 hours ago. So MicroStrategy has, which is a specialist crypto investment firm, has purchased an additional 13,000 Bitcoin for $489 million in cash, at an average price of 37,617 per Bitcoin. So they obviously did that before the pullback. Now, no doubt if they've still got cash at hand, they'll be buying more at this current price as well. So obviously they just picked that up, and they'll already be in a loss, right? Because the price now, as we saw, the price is 32,753. So obviously they bought just when it was higher. There, remember, only a couple of days ago it was back up at 39,000 or something. So that would be the case. Let's have a quick look on Bitcoin and check that out while we're at it. You can see, let's go back a week. Let's do 7 days on the chart. And so they were buying. They're probably buying at the beginning of the week there. Well, so maybe the 17th. I don't know, maybe probably 18th of June. So they're buying early in the week, presumably, given that this tweet's just come out in the last 14 hours. So presumably that's when they've got, as of the 21st of June. So that does make it. We hodl 105,000 Bitcoin. How about that, eh? 105,000 Bitcoin acquired for $2.74 billion at an average price of 26,000 per Bitcoin. All right, so they're still, obviously on average price, they're still in the money because Bitcoin is still sitting at 32,759. So interesting stuff there. So that was Michael Saylor. And let's pull out the old calculator and work out what that return is at the moment. Obviously, they bought higher, so they actually lowered their return. But let's have a look. 37,617. Let me do that again. Sorry. 32,759 and divided by the average price, which is 26.08. 26,080. And so they're still up 25.6%. So interesting stuff. But they're in here for the long game, right? I think they're just there to accumulate Bitcoin, and there's not going to be many left, right? I said there's probably about if we look at the total amount of Bitcoin, there's 18.7 million Bitcoin, but we know that about 4 million are lost. So if that's the case, you got 18.7 minus 4 million, which are presumed lost in different ways. So you're down to 14.7 minus Satoshi's wallet of 1 million. You're down at 13.7 million Bitcoin. That's it. And what do you got left to go? Over the last emission is 2141, and that's 2,124 is the last emission of a Bitcoin. And so you've only got a few million left. What's that? 9. So you got 2.25 million Bitcoin left to be emitted. And that's going down dramatically with the halving of the mining. So really going down. So they got, if there's 13.7 million, they've got 100,000 of those. So they've got, so it's 7, almost 1% of those. So they've got 7.73% of all Bitcoin supply that's known to be available. So pretty impressive stuff. I can see them continuing on with that. Pretty interesting. All right, so that's Michael Saylor. So like I say, we've got specialty vehicles, MicroStrategy investing in Bitcoin, and they're still accumulating. That's the key. They're playing the long game. And then you've got, obviously, we talked about BlackRock coming in, and you've got the big boys coming in. So it's just early times, really. And you should probably see crypto play out over 20 years, really. All right, so we had quite a few stuff on there. Let me just we're going to come back to it in a second. So you had a few things there. We're going to get a lot more spending on blockchains too. And you got the Latin American countries getting involved with crypto and making it reserves and stuff like that as well. So some interesting stuff there. But certainly that China hit is a decent hit, and I think that's probably when they're actually physically cutting off transaction stuff, that certainly makes people, you're getting a capital flight and movement flight, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out over a little while. The other big news coming up, of course, is outside Bitcoin, is the Ethereum. Now, Ethereum upgrade 1559. Apparently, it's going to be testing from this Thursday. I think there's 3 tests or so. So that's coming up, and that has some deflationary aspect to it. And so it's going to be interesting to see the impact of that. It's expected to be testing but from Thursday onwards, and then fully live, if there's no issues, fully live by mid-July. So that's going to be Ethereum EIP 1559 upgrade. This article here is on CoinDesk. Seems to be a pretty nice one. 4 common misconceptions about Ethereum. So this actually might help push Ethereum up. Maybe not next week, but maybe by July when this comes out. This actually might give a bit of a spur there. So this may help out with offsetting the bearish sentiment at the moment. So this is by Christine Kim on CoinDesk. So it's got the block number, the 10.4999401, which is expected to be minted, mined next Thursday, which is this Thursday. I think this Thursday. What days are not? Let me just check that. Which is next Thursday. Yeah, Thursday coming out. Ethereum's test network Robstein will undergo a backward incompatible upgrade. Oh boy, I really struggle with that, don't I? Will undergo a backward incompatible upgrade dubbed London. So that's what's coming up. This is the first of 3 test networks releases for London, and the lead up to the main network activation tentatively scheduled by Ethereum developers for mid-July. So including in London, 5 code changes, also called Ethereum Improvement Protocols, EIPs, and a blog post released Friday. Ethereum's foundation's Tim Bako said EIP 1559 introduces changes to the block header, adds a new transaction type, comes with the new JSON RPC endpoints, and changes the behavior clients in several areas: mining, transaction pool, etc. It is highly recommended that projects familiarize themselves with the EIP. So out of the 5 EIPs in London, EIP 1559 is arguably the most anticipated and controversial code change of them all. EIP 1559 introduces a minimum payment, also called a base